I mean, you would find that Lucifer Star is actually associated with lots of mining. Like they did the Star Mine, that was me, the Lucifer Star Mine. A lot of mining, like I said, it would always begin with a film, or if people, a lot of my people would be going out there, and people would be like, "Well, what are we doing wrong here?" And my people would be like, "Well, sir, I think we can help you out there." And my people had these little projectors, and like I said, I spent a lot of money, and so I spent a lot of money and time on the whole film and projection team. So we had these films and had these projectors, and so like I say, my people would be going out to these little mines or these mining camps, and with their little briefcase and little thing, like the Germans would be going out there, and they even trained other people to also go out there, with the little, they'd have a little case with the little film projector, and they go out there to a little wall, and they would and the miners and they would say, well, you can go a couple different ways. Well, you can. Here's one of our mines over here in Germany, and they'd put on the film one of my mines in Germany, or they'd say like, well, this is actually the North Mine, and they started out without us, and then later on they decided to go with us, or they decided to go with somebody else, with their mining equipment. But you can see that because that was another thing about me too. We would film other people's mining equipment, just to see what's out there. And just to give an example of, because I always like to give examples of, and my salesman would sometimes even sell for another company. Like my salesman would actually even be like, well, because I wasn't fussy about who we sold for. It's like, well, you're my salesman, so we'll take a cut of that anyway, and then you'll get your cut too, and that's and fair is fair. Anyway, so sometimes if someone had some better equipment or had some other equipment, it's like, well, you can go with these other people, and this is what their setup is. Now, our personal setup, or what we like best, and they'd get out another film reel, and they'd play, and they'd be like, now this is our mine over here, the Star Mine, and Lucifer Star Mine, and as you can see over there, that's our foreman, and that's our equipment. That's our steam equipment. Oh, that's one of our new electrics right there. And people could actually see it, and that was one of my biggest things, is I wanted people to see it, and maybe even hear it, but see the mining equipment in action, see the steam engines in action, because I was like. If they see it work, they'll know it's going to work. And so, like I say, my people would be like, well, that's actually an industrial harvester right there, and yeah, that's a competitor actually, but I think we could probably get you one of those if you really want one. And my people and the people are like, well, yeah, I think we want that. And then my salesman would go and talk to that company, and we'd get that shipped out there to them along with our stuff or whatever. So it was kind of like a with the films, I wasn't fussy about my salesman selling for other people. In fact, I said, if they have better stuff, then they have better stuff, and we'll just have to work on getting better ourselves, or until. So just go ahead. Yeah. I was like, yeah, go ahead, contact them, get that stuff out there. I don't care. It doesn't. It's still. It's still. I mean, my people are out there. They might as well get some. It's something for going out there, because I'm already out the cost of going out there in the first place, because I'm paying the people to go out there. So, if I can get anything back, then that's, well, it's all right. Otherwise, I'm just wasting money. So my people were really, my people love me. They really, really loved me because I was so cool. I was like, yeah, I'm paying you anyway. So, you get paid. I don't get paid, but they get paid. So my people were, and a lot of times too. I mean, a lot of these people also came from orphanages and all that other stuff. So they're making money for their orphanages, for their orphanage too, and me, because I own their own orphanage, which is usually just one of my old buildings. Like anytime my old buildings would get older, I'd upgrade to a newer building, a bigger building. It's like, well, let's go ahead and put some people in there or something like that. I mean, well, later on when I did that, I was like, yeah, go ahead and fill them up. No sense in these old factories just lying empty. And the factory would last 100 years. A lot of my factories, they're good for 100 years or good for 200 years. Whether you live in them or not. So might as well live in them. So people lived in them, and they were like halfway houses and orphanages, and I mean, and if people didn't live in them, then somebody would just move in there or wreck them or something like that. With people living in them, they usually fix them up and stuff. So anyway, I had a lot of salesmen and a lot of saleswomen too. I preferred saleswomen too. I was like, well, we should try and have female salesmen, because most workers are male. So a female saleswoman is actually going to do better. So I was like, let's go ahead and just use only female saleswomen if I can. That's another thing. At first I didn't have any salesmen. I just had saleswomen. So right there, I didn't really realize what I was doing actually, but by having saleswomen oftentimes, and I like to have like women with nice sounding voices, so, or at least pleasing voices and all that other stuff. So I mean, I wasn't picky. I mean, any woman could work for me. So anyway though, but I tried to, and then get them all nice and clean and wearing really nice clothes, looking good, and also I was like, maybe we can get them to smell good too, maybe a perfume or something like that. I mean, later on, I had a perfume company too, I think. So yeah, I started that perfume company, or at least we were doing perfumes, or I think it started out as we were doing extractions, because I had the steam press and I was extracting like cedar and stuff like that. And we were getting some perfume that women would like or men would like or something. So anyway, so my salesman would get all this stuff, and my people would get all this stuff, and then they'd go out to the mines. They'd play the films for the miners and everything else like that, and maybe even a little bit of alcohol or whatever. Like I said, I had a fair sampling of just whatever anyone might like or might make a deal go better, as they say. So, this happened a lot during the 1800s or whatever, where my salesmen were going out and saleswomen were going out, and they're helping other people basically start their mine. And like I say, when it all was done, when after they had been gotten started, they'd be like, your people were invaluable. We couldn't have done it without them, and your equipment was perfect. It worked great. We loved it. So my equipment was like, and plus, I went to 7 countries. I went all around the world, even Africa. So people like they always loved my salesmen, and sometimes even, or saleswomen, and sometimes even wanted them to stay a little while longer. I was like, nah, I need them back, just to make sure that they really want to be there or not, because you never know if it's a hostage situation. It's like, yeah, they're fine, they want to stay. It's like, have them come back, and then if they want to go back, they will. So anyway, lots of stuff was happening and happened over the years, and usually it was just like smiles and laughs, and you see all these photographs of these happy people and everything else like that, because they're loving it, because my people would have properly identified the rock as the right rock and told them, well, if you go this way, you'll get a little bit richer. I mean, you get a little bit more metal out of that stuff, because we were getting 35% mineral content and 75%, especially when I was doing Panama, because I was doing Panama anyway. So I had all these people. So it's like, well, I'm doing Panama anyway, so let's go ahead and help out with other people too. So I had a nice sales